Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I have some new news concerning my main man in crime, Blue Blood Sports TV, as he states on his latest live stream that Anthony Joshua does not have what it takes to beat Tyson Fury nor Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, I'm listening to his stream and he's explaining what Anthony Joshua doesn't have, what he can't do. And let me counterpunch real quick. This won't take long, okay? The bias is real. And to get specific with this, Anthony Joshua wasn't supposed to get the belts back. Okay? He didn't supposed to beat Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, after he beat Anthony Joshua, Ruiz supposed to walk right through this guy all over again. Nobody could see how Anthony Joshua, including Blue Blood Sports TV, how could he possibly do anything to deter or to beat and outbox Andy Ruiz. That was the narrative. Okay, we weren't even talking about Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury was Deontay Wilder's next opponent or possible next opponent because they've already agreed, whatever. Right, so Tyson Fury wasn't even talked about at the time, okay? Now, until he done it. They believed that until he done it. And then when he did do it, they were like, hey, you know what? That was boring. He should have did this. He should have did that. So everybody ran on the, they jumped on the Deontay Wilder train with what he said on that comment. So everybody jumped on that comment and used that comment as truth because Anthony Joshua decided to stick and move and box and use the ring to beat a guy that had a one hell of a chin because he was dropped for the first time in his career, right? And got right back up, okay? Those are those things. But people dissed Anthony Joshua and hated on the man because he boxed him and outboxed him in that way. Okay, year later, oh, well, you know, Anthony Joshua, you know, he can't this, he's scarred, he's this, he's that.
You guys can start switching over power.
Now, this is what happens. What happened? Anthony Joshua knocked out Kubrat Pulev in 9 rounds. Dropped him in the 4th, right, or the 3rd. Dropped him in the 3rd. You know, couple times he did. Had Pulev hurt. Pulev recovered. Fought on, tough, Bulgarian, mandatory, right? Which none of these other fighters have fought, mind you that. He gets knocked out in the 9th round by Joshua by using a hybrid style. Bob Arum, of course, Joshua's gonna get knocked out, and he does it again. However, now Anthony Joshua doesn't have what it takes to beat Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Now look. Here's the problem. If based on what Blue Blood Sports TV believes, if he believes that Tyson Fury needed to use something to the grounds of tampered gloves to hit hard, right? That means he cheated. That means he doesn't have what it takes to beat Joshua. And if that's the case, and if he did, according to these guys and their own logic, if Tyson Fury cheated to beat Deontay Wilder should be damaged goods, right? So why would you want to go in there with someone like Anthony Joshua? Counterpunch. So both of those guys, you know, him saying he doesn't have what it takes. Okay, well, these guys have never fought Joshua. So it just shows you that there's no evidence supporting what he's saying and why he's saying it, because these guys never fought. Wilder went down several times against Fury. A couple times he tripped, you know, and a couple times he actually got knocked down. Did he get back up? Is he tough? Of course Deontay Wilder's tough. I've always thought he was tough. You know, but what happens when you start putting punches together on him? 2 things could happen. He's going to get knocked out, or they're going to stop it like they did his last fight. Okay, and then another thing. Deontay Wilder hasn't been in the ring in over a year. You know, well, almost over a year. So by the time he fights again, it'll almost be over a year. Okay? You know, you have to take into account all these things that he's saying that Wilder can do and what he can't do. Well, if Wilder gets hit with a punch by Anthony Joshua, do you think he can take that punch like a pro? Really? See, this is where we disagree. Why? Because if Luis Ortiz can catch you with a right hook and buckle him like he did in the first fight, then why can't Anthony Joshua do the same thing in a left hook? You mean to tell me that Luis Ortiz can buckle Deontay Wilder and Joshua can't? And what does that mean? If he can hurt him, because he can hit him. Wilder's hittable. Because Wilder's going to do one thing. He's not going to pivot. He's not going to move side to side, right? Now, he does a little dash here and there. But when someone comes to attack him, he's going to stay on the center line and he's going to put his fucking hands up. That's all, his arms up. That's all he's going to do. That's all he's going to do. He's going to raise his hands to block these shots, which is the worst thing you could possibly do in the terminology of defense. Okay? And as far as Tyson Fury, okay, why are you giving Tyson Fury props if you think Tyson Fury is such a big cheat? Counterpunch. So Tyson Fury shouldn't even be mentioned. Now, I can understand him saying, well, he can't deal nothing with Wilder because Wilder was cheated. Therefore, Wilder's the toughest man, and he still was on his feet getting hit with tampered gloves, yada, 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 yada. I get that. But what I don't get is laying it on thick by saying, you can't beat Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. It's absolute ludicrous, man. It is a trip. I can't make it up, but I had to counterpunch it. Listen. None of those guys have been in the ring with Joshua. We won't know until it happens. Based on what we've seen, all these guys have the ability to knock each other out. It's the heavyweight division. That's the truth of the matter. And we will see, right? And that's his prediction. But here's my prediction. If Deontay Wilder goes in there thinking he can knock people out with one shot at a time and he misses on Joshua, he's going to get his ass handed to him. Now, if he can land that punch, okay, that's a totally different thing. Okay, but don't say that he doesn't have what it takes. As I recall, both fighters were standing up in the 7th round before the fight got stopped. The only difference was Joshua got stopped as he was looking for his mouthpiece to get put back in his mouth in the corner in the 7th round, in the neutral corner. And the referee waved it off. Deontay Wilder was getting beat up in the corner, and they stopped the fight in the 7th round. Okay, so, but both of these guys were still standing. All right, so him saying he doesn't have what it takes, well, fair enough. If Joshua doesn't have what it takes, that means your guy, Deontay Wilder, does not have what it takes either. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.